TaskFlow's REST API is clean and well designed, but REST has two problems that show up as your app grows. Overfetching. You call /tasks and get back every field, even when the mobile app only needs the title. And underfetching. To render one screen, you call /tasks, then /users, then /projects, 3 round trips for one view. GraphQL was built to solve exactly this. With GraphQL, the client asks for precisely the data it needs, no more, no less, in a single request. One endpoint, one request, exactly the right shape. In this video, you'll learn why GraphQL exists and the problems it solves, the schema definition language, types, queries, mutations, and subscriptions, resolvers, the functions that fetch the data, the famous N+1 problem, and how DataLoader fixes it, when to choose GraphQL over REST, and when not to. By the end, we'll add a GraphQL API to TaskFlow, right alongside our REST API, and query tasks with flexible field selection. Let's make the problem concrete. In REST, every endpoint returns a fixed shape. Get/tasks returns the full task object. ID, title, description, status, created date, assignee, every field. Your mobile list screen only needs the title and status, but it downloads everything. That's overfetching, wasted bandwidth on data you throw away. The opposite is underfetching. One screen needs a task, its project, and the assignee's name. In REST, that's 3 endpoints and 3 round trips, and the client stitches the results together. GraphQL flips the model. There's a single endpoint, usually /GraphQL. The client sends a query that describes exactly the shape it wants. Ask for a task with just its title and status, and that's all you get back. Ask for a task plus its project plus the assignee in one query, and the server resolves all of it and returns it together. The response mirrors the query, the same shape, the same fields. The client is in control of the data, not the server. That single idea is what makes GraphQL powerful. GraphQL starts with a schema. The schema is a contract that defines every type of data your API exposes, written in the schema definition language, or SDL. You define types. Type task has fields, ID and ID, title, a string, completed, a boolean. Each field has a type, and an exclamation mark means it's non-nullable, required. Types can reference other types. A task can have a project field of type project, modeling relationships directly in the schema. Then there are 3 special root types. Query, for reading data. Type query defines the entry points. Tasks returns a list of tasks. Task takes an ID and returns one task. Mutation, for writing data. Create task, update task, delete task. Each mutation takes arguments and returns the affected object. And subscription, for real-time updates over a WebSocket. Task added pushes new tasks to the client as they're created. The schema is the single source of truth. The client can introspect it, tools can auto-complete against it, and it documents your entire API in one place. A schema describes the data. Resolvers fetch it. A resolver is a function attached to a field that knows how to get its value. For the task query, the resolver returns the list of tasks from your database. For a task's project field, a resolver fetches the project that task belongs to. Resolvers receive arguments. A query like task with ID 42 passes 42 into the resolver as an argument, and you use it to look up the right record. Clients pass these through variables, so the query is reusable and safe from injection. But resolvers have a famous trap, the N+1 problem. Imagine you query a list of 100 tasks, and for each one, you also want its project. The task's resolver runs one query to get the 100 tasks. Then the project resolver runs once per task, 100 more queries, 1 plus 100. That's the N+1 problem, and it will destroy your performance. The fix is DataLoader. DataLoader batches all those individual project lookups into a single query, and caches the results within the request. 101 queries collapse into 2. Any real GraphQL server uses DataLoader or a similar batching layer for every relationship. So, should you use GraphQL or REST? Neither is universally better. They fit different needs. Reach for GraphQL when clients need flexible, varied data, like a mobile app and a web app with different needs hitting the same API. When you have many related resources and want to avoid round trips, and when a fast-moving front-end team wants to iterate without waiting for new endpoints. Stick with REST when your API is simple and resource-oriented. When you rely heavily on HTTP caching, REST caches at the URL level. GraphQL is harder to cache, and when you want the simplest possible thing that works. To run a GraphQL server, the most popular choice is Apollo server. A few lines, pass it your schema and resolvers, and it gives you an endpoint plus an interactive playground where you can explore the schema and run queries live. Many teams run both. REST for simple public endpoints, GraphQL for complex client-driven views. Knowing when to use each is the real skill. Let's add GraphQL to TaskFlow right next to our REST API. First, the schema. Type task with ID, title, completed, and a project field. Type query with task, returning a list, and task, taking an ID. Type mutation with create task, taking a title, and toggle task, taking an ID. Next, resolvers. The task's resolver returns all tasks. The task resolver finds one by its ID argument. The task.project resolver fetches the related project wrapped in a data loader to batch those lookups and avoid N+1. Create task pushes a new task and returns it. We start an Apollo server, hand it the schema and resolvers, and mount it at /GraphQL. Now open the playground. Ask for tasks with only ID and title, and that's all you get. Add completed and project to the same query, and the response grows to match in one request. The REST API still works untouched. The same TaskFlow data is now available two ways: REST for simple calls, GraphQL for flexible client-driven queries. Let's recap. GraphQL solves overfetching and underfetching by letting the client ask for exactly the data it needs from a single endpoint. The schema, written in SDL, defines your types, queries, mutations, and subscriptions, and it's the single source of truth. Resolvers fetch the data for each field, and DataLoader batches them to defeat the N+1 problem. GraphQL shines for flexible client-driven needs, while REST stays great for simple, cacheable, resource-based APIs. And TaskFlow now speaks both. In the next video, we lock things down with input validation and data sanitization, Zod schemas, sanitizing user input, and the security headers that keep your API safe. See you in the next one.